Hey guys, it's Autumn here, and welcome to a collab. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I'm very excited to share it with you. And today I am doing a line art swap with Snakercow. I really hope I said that correctly. Snakercow is a digital artist here on YouTube, and they make incredible art. So I am drawing their character, whose name I actually forget at the moment, which I feel bad about. But they have these like bunny ears. I believe their name is James, if I remember correctly. And they have bunny ears and just really cute braided hairstyle, and it's great. Now, you're seeing me draw on my iPad here. I was going to record this very similar to the way Bailey J does, actually, where she records the screen on her table. But I kind of worked on this while I was laying on my bed, sitting on the couch, just figuring it out. At the beginning of this sketch, though, I was trying to draw Jack digitally because I haven't done that yet, and I still haven't, and I really like to at some point, but I am still not the best at digital art. So originally I was going to draw more full body, but then I realized the reference image I had wasn't exactly full body, so I kind of went with what I had, and I ended up turning it more into a chest up view of this character. And the hardest part of this was the braid, because if you've seen my characters, I tend to draw short hair or very long flowy hair. So I don't do braids very often. I also went over this sketch quite a few times trying to clean it up, make it look right, get the proportions even. And looking at this again a little bit after we've done this line art swap, the ears still are not quite even, but it's okay because it kind of makes sense based off of where the braid is, but yeah, it's not awful. I actually kind of like this piece, and I love the stars in his eyes, and it's very, very cute. So that's all I really have to say about this. I don't actually know much of James' backstory. I just kind of have what he looks like to go off of, which kind of sucks, but I also was a little nervous to ask a whole lot of information about the character, just because I thought the character design was really cute. And now we move into my favorite part. So the line art that I'm coloring is that of Snakercow, and oh, I love their style. It's so nice. Like, Jack looks exactly how I would imagine him to look as a real person in this. I tend to draw him more cutesy and more like a lovable muffin, because in my mind he's a lovable muffin. But from someone on the outside looking at Jack, he probably would be a badass and look kind of scary. He drew Jack in a tank top and with the little alien head on it, because that was in the original design of Jack's, if you saw the first video I ever did with him. And he looks so good. He is my favorite version of Jack, and I would love to put him in my room somewhere at some point. I just don't know where at this point. This is also the first time that I used the very light purple for shading on skin, and I fell in love. It gives it so much more dimension, and it looks more like a shadow. Prior to this, I worked with the darker brown color as a shadow tone, and I was like, okay, this is good, it works, it does its thing. But this purple makes Jack look so good, and there's no other color that I've been able to draw and shade him with that makes him look just like this. So this is digital line work that I printed off onto Bristol board. It is, what is it? It's Canson Premium. It's like a French version of the Bristol board, and it is A4 if I remember correctly. So that's like 8 by 11.5 or something. It's a weird size, but it's not awful. So I was working on this for quite a few hours. It was a lot of fun though. But this is the color that the line art was done in. I was going to originally switch it to black, but because his entire beard and his undercut are done in this color, which is very close to his actual skin or his actual hair color, I decided to leave it. And I touched up certain spots with black fine liner around the edges because it didn't print to the edges, which was strange, but I tried to make it as close as possible to the actual line art so it didn't stand out too much. Now, I am going to go into a ramble about Jack, so if you are not interested, I would suggest turning off the headphones that you are listening with, or listen to your own music if you want to watch the rest of the speed art. But here we go. Jack is my OC. He is I'm trying to think of he's not like superhuman, but he's got superhuman abilities, so metahuman? I don't know. I'm gonna go with metahuman because I'm in like a DC frame of mind today for some reason. Jack has the ability to animate his tattoos into objects, creatures, items, things of that nature. So the snake around his neck in this piece, he can animate into a live snake that he can use. He gained this ability while he was in high school. Well, he found out he had this ability while he was in high school, although as a child, he was very, very ill, so his parents decided to try whatever they could to keep him alive and keep him from becoming any sicker. So they took him to a witch, a warlock person. He doesn't remember. I truly blame this on the fact that I don't really know what I want them to be. And it cured him, but also gave him special powers. He got his first tattoo while he was in high school, right before he graduated, and his first tattoo was the whip that is wrapped around his arm. This whip is not in this piece, but that's okay. If you see the other piece, you'll know what I mean. The whip was his first tattoo. It was in memory of somebody. I haven't really planned that far ahead. It was either a memory or it was because of someone that he got this tattoo, but it was the first one he got while he was in high school. And this tattoo he also found was the first one to animate, and it's the only one that does not cause him severe pain to de-animate. So to explain that, the de-animation is when it just kind of goes back into his skin. And I decided that this was be the only one that doesn't hurt him simply because it's his first tattoo. It's the one that means the most to him. It's the one that has the most meaning, and because it's the first one, it's significantly easier for him to look on it with fondness as opposed to necessity. And as he got older, he kind of hid it, didn't talk about it. While he was in college, he ignored it. He trained and became I believe I made him a security partner kind of guy, but he's very athletic, very well trained, and is kind of like a police officer, basically. He may end up becoming a police officer. I haven't completely finalized him and his backstory. While going to college, though, and studying, he meets his husband, Simon, in the library, because Simon is a librarian, although I like to think at the time he was a librarian aide and just kind of helped with putting books away and things of that nature. So that is basically Jack's story. After he finishes college, he goes run and kind of becomes his own startup, has his own security firm, and he just protects people. And he is one of those people who he works for his company and he goes and protects people with his powers. And as time goes on, he learns about crime families, he learns about things that he can stop, and he starts to help more people and becomes a vigilante. His name is still up in the air. He also has wing tattoos on his back, so I almost thought about there's angelic names that I could do. There's a bunch of other things, and then there was there's a bunch of names that I have floating around in my head that I haven't necessarily decided on yet. So if you guys have a name in particular for him as a vigilante that he would gain as a nickname, as that people in the crime families would call him, or he would get nicknamed by police officers, let me know, because I am very much so open to ideas. But yeah, so he can use his angel wings to fly away in certain situations, which is why I was thinking something like that, but he only uses them if necessary, so I don't necessarily know if that would work as much. Now, I apologize for rambling so long, but I do love this character, and he's very important to me. He's one of the first characters that I spent a very long time developing and creating and learning about as I made him. So this piece was done with Copics. I talked a little bit about the shadowing that I'm doing, and then I colored in his shirt, and this probably took me an hour and a half to color, just because of the size of the paper. It's not fun to color in big areas with Copics. I would recommend small areas. Very much so. I almost considered switching to watercolor or another medium while I was working on this, just because it was like, oh my gosh, are we done with his shirt yet? I also had the shadows on this piece to the side where his face is turned away. The side that's facing us more flat is where the light is more so hitting, and on the edge of his hair, and then as it goes over his face it becomes darker, and that's where the shadow is. The color looks more natural to Jack's actual hair color in the picture that is at the end of this video when you see the piece, but right now it's very orange, which isn't incorrect, it's just a little off because of the lighting. There's not much else for me to say in this other than thank you so much to Snakercow for involving me in this collab and allowing this to happen. I am very, very excited to see how your piece of how the lion art from my work turns out in your coloring. My English is great. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone!
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!